Hi everybody, welcome back. What we're going to look at now is something around candidate experience. So if your adverts are working and you're out there encouraging people to apply, then at some point the rubber hits the road. They phone in, they make contact, or you have to contact them. You have an application arriving in your inbox or onto your applicant tracking system, and so you need to do everything you can to win the deal. And make those prospective applicants turn into employees. And I'm delighted to welcome back Leigh Davis. And he's the world's expert on many of these aspects. He's done this for so many years and honed exactly the way of squeezing the most out of every single part of this application process. So I'm delighted that Leigh, you could join us today. Thank you so much for coming back. So what we want to talk about today, as I mentioned, is candidate experience, and of course there's an element of sales to this as well. And many people in a home care office or in a residential care setting won't have sales experience. You know, they often aren't trained on how to answer the phone or the importance often of recruitment and of how important applicants are to the bloodstream of the company. So you know, many times I think people are put off, aren't they, by their experience, their first contact, or that we take too long. So I'd love to hear your views on this sort of area of candidate experience, and I think what you call applicant interface scripting. So tell us more about your experiences here and what you would recommend that we in the UK and other countries could benefit from from your experience.
Sure. So one of the first things that I see, Neil, is, as I call it, applicant interface scripting, is literally to have a scripting booklet, to literally have this stuff written down, black and white. It's scary how many people I coach, and companies that is, big companies, and there's no scripting. They literally let their employees fly by the seat of their pants. They wing it, and it's scary. There is no base plate. If you have no base plate, no measuring stick by which you can measure good or bad response, and then you have no data. You have no measuring point, no data points from which you can say, let's add this scripting here, see what kind of response we get, or let's add scripting here to see if we can improve this methodology. Most don't. So that's the first item I would get right off the bat, would be get this written down into a scripting booklet. Every employee that I have in the office, and our offices have scripting booklets. They know how to answer the phone, what to say. It's literally, it's kind of a triage scripting, if you will. So that, to kind of cover that basis, please make sure everything you have is scripted. Another thing that I don't want to say I beat into their heads, but I do, is, like you were saying, speed of response.
Yeah.
With you've spent money. You've got that ad running. You've got that advert running. You're putting pounds out the door. Now you've got it coming back in. The last thing you need to do is to delay that response. Because guess what? They have not only responded to your ad, they've responded to 3 other of your competitors, your adverts, and they're waiting on a recall from probably 5 to 10 other people.
Yeah.
I think there's some research that they get 10 to 12 calls a week from home care companies if they've applied. So it's a lot. So being first on the scene, Neil, is critical just to kind of start the conversation. Speed of response is mission critical.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I think in this age of the internet, of Facebook, of apps, of instant gratification, and millennials, there's an expectation around everything else they do. They get an instant response, and then apart from applying for a care role job, in which case then it's silence. Yeah, very good. Okay, perfect. So speed of response is critical.
So then you want to have continuity between what your ad says you offer and what you actually say. You want there to be a nice flow from the information from which that compelled them to respond to your interface with them. There needs to be a flow. So again, you want to reaffirm the benefits. You want that person, when they call, to immediately go, whoa, this company is different. Because what happens when an applicant calls, and we can almost in our mind's eye, know exactly what our competition is saying. Hi, this is ABC Home Care. We provide in-home care. We hire the best caregivers. You must have your CNA. You must have your license. You must be able to do this. You must be able to do that. And it's, again, this whole one-way conversation that I'm the company and here's what I need from you.
Yeah.
When in fact, you want that person to literally go, wow, this company is way different and they have caught my attention. I'm listening now. Something we've done is we've implemented a number of scripting processes and procedures, but we tell applicants that we are a lifestyle management company for caregivers.
Fantastic.
We don't say, you would be surprised. You would be. The people that literally stop talking when you say that to applicants, they will go, there's a long pause, and I'll say, what? And so I'll have myself, we're a lifestyle management company for caregivers. We do home care, and we go into, yes, we're a home care company, but we start by blowing their socks off with what they hear.
Yeah.
Because we put in the ads all these great benefits that we offer and how we are different than every other company out there. Then you reaffirm that and you blow their socks off when you answer the phone and tell them, yeah, we do all this. That's how we start the conversation.
Okay, perfect. And that's different already because I'm sure most people watching this will recognise that these conversations go the same way, and often the call might come into somebody who isn't the person that needs to be spoken to, and then they don't handle it very well. They don't sound excited. They're certainly not interested in the person, and they don't sell the organisation or sell care actually. So that's a really good tip. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, you need to have somebody that doesn't mind that really bad 4-letter word or 5-letter word of sales. I'm selling, I'm marketing to somebody. I'm here to sell our company to somebody and all the benefits that we offer. So home care is very hesitant to say we're in the sales game. We're selling to caregivers. That's exactly what we're doing. Marketing and selling to caregivers every day.
And so how do you overcome, it's the same in the US, I know, the poor public perception of care. So, how would you present the job differently?
And that's a good point, Neil, because we have some of that in the U.S. as well. We have to reframe the conversation. We have to change their paradigm from I'm just providing home care for this many pounds per hour. Ditch that, bring the conversation, just like we do with the part of we're a lifestyle management company. We provide home care. We provide care to seniors who are ill, frail in the home. But here's what we also do. We're not just helping that senior. We're helping their sons, their daughters. We're helping them live a more stress-free life. We're helping them actually make more money because they're not leaving their job for the 5th time this week to go change the channel to The Price is Right for Mom. Then we're also helping that company because that employee is staying on the clock longer. So we try to change that paradigm and let them see that they're not just helping this one little person, they're helping this broader expanse. And Neil, this is one of the big critical points that we try to tap into with millennials because they want to see greater good. There's been a phrase coined over here, purpose over paycheck. So you have to tap into, this is their hot button, one of their hot buttons. A purpose, grander meaning, broader appeal, broader impact in my community. Yeah. So you take from making a paycheck for how many pounds per hour. Now we're having this broader conversation with this person about let's set aside this whole X amount per hour, and we're helping Miss Smith with her with her laundry. We change the conversation, change the paradigm, reframe the conversation. That's what we do.
That's really, really good. And it's a great approach. Are there any other tips that you'd give, when you've got these people on the phone? Is there anything else that you think that they would benefit from?
You want to continue to sink the hook, as it were, deeper into the mouth with hitting the hot buttons, the benefits that they're looking for, flexible schedules, recognition, being rewarded, being part of a team, being engaged, communication. Again, it kind of goes back to like in the U.S., the typical car salesman. He's going to show you all these grand benefits of this big, powerful automobile before he shows you the price. And this is kind of the same thing. You want again, if you lead with price, like we talked about in our previous conversation, if you just talk about price, that's the only benefit they see in your company. You're a money-only employer. So we want to make sure they understand we've reframed the conversation. We've shown all these great benefits, how we address their hot buttons. Then we say, here's our range of pay. And we try to make sure we're able to say, truthfully, X amount to X, Y, Z. Here's the range we pay based on the type of client we might have for you.
Perfect. It's very good. And, when you're talking, I know about, over here we talk about, interview times and when we're going to give you an interview. You have a different approach, I think, to whether you would use that word at all, for example.
Yes. We try not to chase. We don't. When you chase an applicant, you're reversing that position of power. That applicant then says, "Oh, they're chasing me," whereas we're supposed to be giving them so many benefits and showing a little bit of scarcity about how good our benefits are and all the things that we offer. That let's pull that lure, let's pull that bait back just a little bit. And how we do that, one of the parts is in the U.S. If you call a doctor's office. And maybe in the UK, it can be a long time before you get in.
Yep.
I can squeeze you in 3 weeks from next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Be there 9 p.m. sharp, or you're not getting in. So we want to show a little scarcity, and the same thing with showing all these great benefits. And we want to make that person salivate a little bit about, wow, this company is so different. How do I get in? So don't chase. And what we do is we offer an appointment time. We don't set interviews. Let's see if we can schedule an appointment. Make it more official. And I'm going to give you two options. Never will my staff say, when can you be here? Can you be here today? We say two options. I have an appointment opening tomorrow at 2:30, or I have one tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Which is better for you? You guide the conversation. You control that conversation. And at the same time, you're showing scarcity. I don't have a lot of interview openings. I'm not just chasing you, applicant. I want you to jump through my hoops.
Okay. No, really good. And so at the next stage, of course, because over here we suffer from probably 50% no-shows. Every other person is not showing up. So there's a lot of focus on how we can reduce that. And I think even, like you're saying, join our waiting list. It's almost like you're creating demand by not using those ads words we saw, urgently required, we want everybody anyway, anytime, anybody. It's you're creating this scarcity, which is really good. And then I guess then you have to give them directions. So then the thing is, how do you get them to come to the office? You got any tips around that?
One of a small little cue is to keep the mind moving forward towards your company. And those can be simple. They're almost a little subtle linguistics of, does this sound good? Is this what you're looking for? Is this what you want? Get their mind continuing to say yes, 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 yes to your company. They're small, subtle things, but they settle in the subconscious that, yes, I'm saying yes to this person. Yes, I'm saying yes to this person. So you have to keep that sales process moving forward. And Neil, like you were saying, directions. Yes, we can give the directions, and the Google God will show you the path in which you must trod.
Yeah.
What I want you to do is to get this crazy little instrument called a pen. I want you to get this thing. I want you to put it in your hands, and I want you to write some things down. And so I give them directions, and again, directions are scripted as well. So my staff I tell people we can bring a blind man in from 40 miles out. Any direction, north, south, east, and west. From every interstate, from every street, we have scripted directions. What we say is, okay, Miss Jones, I'd like for you to get a pen and paper and write this down. I'll wait. And then wait. And say, do you have your pen and paper ready? Are you ready to write these instructions down, the directions? You want them to follow directions, even though they've never met you. You want them to follow what you're saying. This has huge implications, Neil, for, number one, getting them to your office. Number two, if you want to hire them, are they going to follow that care plan? Are they going to show up at 3 o'clock when you tell them to show up at 3 o'clock? Are they going to follow Miss Jones' bathing regimen? when you've told to follow that regimen. So there's all these future implications that simply, it seems so insignificant, have large future implications. And are they following directions? That it can be as simple as that, but that also helps ensure that they followed your information. They've invested time with you, and that means they've got a little more devotion, a little more connection, a little more commitment to you and your company.
Yeah.
So that's why we employ these techniques.
That's really good, and that's fantastic. And thank you so much. I think this is great advice for everybody. I really appreciate it. Amazing insight, and thank you so much, Leigh. And if people on the call want to, either from the last video or this one, they want to find out more from you, where should they go to do that?
Neil, they can go to www.davisdelany.com, and that's DAVISDELANY.com. There's no E on the end of Delaney.
Perfect. Okay, and we'll put that up on the screen. So fantastic, and thank you. It's been a real privilege to talk to you. I hope we get an opportunity to talk more in the future. And thank you so much for coming along and joining us today.
Great. Thanks, Neil. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Leigh. Thank you.